Speak easy, unstoppable.
As Dan said, that my job earlier this year, I was tasked with kind of upgrading our candidate experience. And I'm with Cottage Health. I've been in TA for 30 years, um, both in HR, tech and healthcare recruiting and sourcing, recruitment, marketing, employer branding, kind of a jack of all trades within TA. And so at Cottage Health, as Dr. Mallory had mentioned, healthcare is growing, but yet we have a shortage of talent. And so it's really important that we keep a hold of those individuals that do say yes. So trying to design every moment that followed that yes was my task. And how could I use technology to help with that? So that's what I'm hoping to share with you today, and you can get some nice takeaways. So let's see if we can move this here. Okay, so the journey. It for the new hire, it starts after the yes, not on day one. Many of us think, oh, day one, that's when everything starts, but it really is after that yes. That's when the work really starts to ensure that the candidate receives that first class experience. So, do you remember that excitement that you felt? Maybe you're feeling it right now when you're starting something new. You're excited, you're nervous, you have a ton of questions. But from the employer side, this is the time when we can lose those new employees that we work so hard to get. As Dan mentioned, that candidate experience or that pre-boarding is not to the level of their expectations. So we have to make that journey visible. Many companies, even ours, we hold on to that information for whatever reason. I don't know why we all do this, but we hold on to it for like the week before someone starts or the day before someone starts. And we start to lose a little bit of trust with our new candidates. We hire some people 2 months before they start. Well, we all get spam messages and scam messages. And so we want to make sure that we continue through this journey, just this very first part, that we continue to build that trust. So the more information we can share with them in a welcoming and thoughtful manner is really important. So what does that look like? Well, for us, this was our reality not that long ago. Our reality was excuse me, our reality was a very text heavy email. It had a lot of information that most companies we do. We have a lot of information that somebody needs for their onboarding, but this black and white text heavy, you don't get very excited when you see this. You go from that image before of, oh, I can't wait for this journey to, oh my gosh, look at what's in front of me. So a lot of times what happens is you open this up and you go, oh, okay, well, let me get back to it. So you put it somewhere in your email, maybe you mark it, you star it, and you're going to come back to it later in that night or maybe a day or two. But now you can't find it. It's not easy accessible. It's not a self-serve approach. It's just blah. So our goal, my goal, was to share this information in a more welcoming manner. So I don't know how many of you have received an email like this when you've joined a company, but I know I have in the past, and I got one just like this when I joined Cottage Health a couple of years ago. So again, to what Dr. Mallory had mentioned is we have this shortage of talent in healthcare, even though we're growing, we have to hold on to this talent. We have to hold on to those people that say yes to it. So every moment then sends a signal. We had all the right information in that long text heavy email that we're sending out, but we're sending out the wrong signals. It wasn't really an experience. It was just a laundry list of things that somebody needed to do. It wasn't exciting. It wasn't inviting. It's not welcoming. It's extremely overwhelming. You miss a lot of key details in it. So, what I wanted to do was take that information and then you turn it into something that's more structured, more user friendly, and honestly, something that's more inviting. So, and also a key piece to this is we have a lot of questions from new hires. And so there are a lot of questions going back and forth, and a lot of them are the same questions by everybody. And so we want to make sure that we capture that as well. So The goal was what we found throughout this process. And what I did was I met with our employee health managers, I met with our recruiters, our TA business partners, I did work with our marketing a little bit. And other business partners to really understand what the ultimate goal should be in this new welcoming approach to our candidate experience and that onboarding. People don't read long emails. We all know this. I mean, 3 seconds, maybe 5 second attention span is pretty much all we get. We scan things. We are just a scanning society. We want things quick. We read a headline and move on. Maybe we get 3 sentences of something. So we miss a lot of things when we just scan. And then those questions come back to the recruiters and to the TA business partners again and again and again. So that goal was to make it really easy to navigate, really easy to come back to. They can bookmark what we created, and ultimately something that empowers the new hire to self-serve. And ultimately, of course, we want to stand out from our competition. Healthcare again, it's a challenging market. There's not a lot of people out there looking. As Erin mentioned, the big stay, people are holding on to their jobs, but we need them. We have those openings. And so we want to make sure that we stand out from our competition. And this is one way that we thought we could be able to do this. And we also wanted to kind of have a one destination for everything, or just about everything that a new hire would need. So some of these key design principles that I mentioned, so you remember that text heavy black and white email with some highlighted things that we were giving out just a few months ago. So now we have a more simple, structured, scannable content, clear to call to action, and self-service. So by structuring the experience a little bit differently, you can see it's definitely more engaging. I mean, I hope it puts a smile on someone's face when they get this email after they've said yes to us, that it says welcome. Before I think it typed out welcome. This way, we have this welcome banner. You now have, it says congratulations. And what I love about Outlook is it does the confetti when they open it. So that's always a lot of fun. But so you have the congratulations message, and then you have your onboarding and orientation button at the top. You don't have to go searching for it. We really wanted to make this as simple as possible. So you have the onboarding orientation button at the top. We still have the content that we have to share with them about their appointments and orientation locations and maybe what to bring with them. So we do still break it up, but as you can see from previously, it was this black and white format. Now we have it in this more of a colored bordered approach, just easier on the eyes, and you know where you need to go. But it was definitely the first step in all of this was this new email. So as I mentioned, we now have this onboarding and orientation button. And I'll show you in a moment what that leads to. So what we ended up creating was a centralized onboarding hub for this new hire journey. So how did we do this? Well, we used hireEZ. We use their landing pages and the eZ agent. So as Dan had mentioned, that AI component. So what I did was I just went into the eZ agent within the landing pages, and I just started writing what I wanted. I was looking for an onboarding page for new hires, orientation, onboarding, FAQs, and I just started listing everything. And then it then created a landing page that was all formatted for me, which was wonderful. And then I could start going in and I could edit, I could format, I could put our pictures in, I could put links. It was wonderful. So we created this centralized onboarding hub. That was something new that they could not just use once, but multiple times throughout the pre-boarding experience. So instead of this one and done communication, it truly became a more guided journey. And just as important, that it was more about organizing the information to share with new hires. It was about making sure that from the moment they said yes to us at Cottage Health, that they continued to feel welcome the whole time. So let me share with you. You can scan this QR code so you can see it, but let me show you what we actually created here. This has been up now for, we're going on 2 months. And so that button in that email, when they click on it, this is the page that they come to. Can everybody see this page? Just want to make sure that we're good to go here.
Yep.
Okay, fantastic. So this is our landing page within hireEZ. And so now when they get that beautiful welcome banner email with the congratulations confetti, they have this link. And and this right here was created by hireEZ as well. These tiles, these sections up here. So it already had provided that for me with these different sections. I added of course, our logo here, which then takes you to our main page, but this is what they get. The onboarding journey, time frame. This is some of the biggest questions we get. How long is it going to take? So if we're bringing somebody on board and they're starting in 2 weeks, they need to get things started right away. If they're starting in 2 months, then maybe they can wait a week or two. But this kind of gives them an idea of how long these items will take. And this is really important because we get so many questions about this, and people don't realize how long some of these steps can take in their onboarding process. We also, with healthcare, you have a lot of health screenings you have to go through, and there's two different types for us. So we needed to make this very clear because this was another area that we had a challenge with, that people didn't understand that there were two different screenings they had to do. So I'll just use this right here. So you click on that section up there, it takes you to the work location. Again, we have different types of employees and where they're working. And so there's different processes in regards to their screenings and how to get this done. And then where they can go, and then our onboarding. So again, if you are an on-site employee, your onboarding is a little bit different, but you have a lot of questions. I'm a fully remote employee, so I would like to know, how am I going to get my equipment? What should I expect? And so letting them know how to do your I-9 verification. So if you're on site, you're going to do it one way. If you're a remote employee like myself, it's going to be different. We also provided contact information for them, and then a resource guide. Many of our new hires, they need to either have their certification already in certain things, or they can get it renewed. And this way it made it very easy. They didn't have to go search and find out what the class schedule was to get their BLS certification, or if they're a security guard. So where they have to go. We just wanted to make it very easy for everybody. And then we have our day one ready. So looking forward to orientation. A lot of people want to know, what does orientation look like? And previously, and like many organizations, maybe you don't send the orientation information out till the Friday before they start. Well, there's a lot of things that somebody may need to get put in place before they start their new job on a Monday. And so we thought this would be a much better approach, is to do the orientation along with the onboarding. So again, they click on this, and this is a separate page, landing page in hireEZ, but they're connected through the two pages. So with our orientation now, they get that same welcome to Cottage Health banner, and we have testimonials. Both of these buttons right here, they hop down to those sections, but we have testimonials, we have our video. Again, that welcoming, like, I made the right choice to be with this organization, that they feel good about that yes that they made maybe 2 months ago, 6 months ago, 2 weeks ago. Just want to make sure that they still feel that welcome connection. So that orientation schedule, again, this is what most people are are wanting right here, is this. What does the day look like? Where am I supposed to go? So this information is really important for most people. That's what they're looking for. So again, we spell out the important information there. And then to meet our leadership, I thought this was really key. I just attended in my orientation. I've been here 2 years and I just went to my orientation last month. But this was really key to have this in here because each one of these individuals, they speak at orientation. It does, I mean, there's a lot of people here, but they introduce themselves at the very beginning and they take like a minute or two. It's really great. It was wonderful for me because as I showed up and I saw some of these people, I could introduce myself. And it was a really great experience, and I noticed others in the morning doing the same. So I thought this was really important to have that in there. And then of course we have our FAQs. And this helped because these are the types of questions that most people are constantly going back and forth with our recruiters about. And I'm sure that you get these same questions as well. But this way, most of them are answered right here. What's nice about these landing pages within hireEZ is I can go in and make an edit at any point in time, and then it's refreshed. And if somebody gets it today, later today, after I make an edit, it'll be there. Somebody who got it 3 weeks ago, they can, pull up the link and that new information will be there. So it's really, really helpful to have this. Again, contact information, and then they can hop right back over to the onboarding journey. So really, really helpful information. We have seen a decrease in the amount of questions that our TA team is having to answer now because they have these FAQs, because they have the orientation information, because the employee health information. We really structured it to from the new hire perspective, thinking about everything that they would need, all the different types of questions that they would ask. And so we wanted to make sure that we really did think about everything from offer to day one. So that was really important to us to kind of ease some of that first day anxiety that people may have. So, and at the end of the day, this wasn't about just improving a process. It really was making sure that every new there's that still that shortage of talent, and people are not looking to leave. And when they do say yes, we don't want to lose them. We don't want to lose them to a counteroffer with their current employer. We don't want to lose them in that downtime before they start to another, to one of our competitors. We want to make sure that we are treating them, with that support and providing them with the confidence that they made a right decision in choosing our organization, choosing Cottage Health. So it really does. The other thing that we're hoping that this will help with is first year turnover, that those numbers go down and that our retention stays stays high. We do have, just so you know, we do have over 60% of our workforce has been with us for 15 or more years. So we do have really strong retention numbers, but we want to make sure right now and how this market is that those first year hires to us, that they stay, they stick. That's really important to us. And so we wanted to make sure that we shaped how someone feels about our organization long term with these steps.
Love it. Michelle, I think the biggest takeaway is if you're going to go back to your organization today, connect with HR, whoever does that onboarding training, and maybe go through it. What do they get? What are those emails look like? Is there anything that we can revamp and put it in a landing page that it's going to be more of a user-friendly experience, candidate experience? We always talk about it as recruiters, but this is a way to utilize technology, even if you don't have to be a web developer to do
Yeah.
some of this stuff. You can
No,
throw in some prompts,
yep.
throw in some marketing materials from your marketing team, and create an experience that people not only come to your organization, but they finally stay at the organization would help the retention that actually sometimes falls back on the TA organization.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's the one thing, Dan, is that you don't have to have a web background of any kind. hireEZ
mhm,
walks you through it. And if you don't
sure.
have hireEZ, you can use PowerPoint, you can do
Yep.
Word. So you can work with what you have, but if you have hireEZ and you didn't know about this, that's all there for you too.